Welcome to the True You Summit. I'm Carrie Rubin, your summit host and Chief Mom Officer at the Modern Mom Society. I'm excited to bring you this summit to help you get the tools you need to live an authentic and joyful mom life that's aligned to what your body, soul, and mind desires. I hope you enjoyed this limited time free interview with one of the 15 experts that are here to discuss how you can get closer to your true you. Each day of the summit, we will explore 5 different areas of your life where you can improve your connection to your true you as a busy mom. Parenting, mom life, authenticity, spirituality, and mind and body. You'll have 24 hours free access to listen to the 3 experts discussing the topic of the day. Otherwise, you can purchase lifetime access to these life-changing series of interviews. There are 2 different packages available. The basic package, which includes all 15 interviews in MP3 format, can be purchased for $29, or the deluxe package, which includes all 15 interviews in audio, video, and transcript format, so you can get this great information whichever way you prefer. Plus, the deluxe package also includes bonus PDFs. One is the How to Connect to Your True You guide. It highlights the ways that the experts shared in their interview as to how they personally connect to their true selves, as well as the common ideas and themes throughout. So if you're new to connecting to your true you, or you're out of practice, you can start trying on these different ways of getting in tune with your inner wisdom, intuition, and true self right away. The second bonus PDF is Key Takeaways from the Summit. As I was recording all of these interviews, I noticed common themes and threads throughout. And this bonus document highlights these keys, so you'll be sure to get the most important ideas and begin to make shifts towards a happier, joyful, more aligned, and more fulfilled mom life today. The $29 and $59 prices for the basic and deluxe packages are good now through the end of the summit on May 10th. After that, the prices will go up to $59 and $89 respectively. So if you think you're going to miss any of these great interviews, or you'll know you want to have lifetime access to them, be sure to grab your True You Summit package upgrade today. Here's today's interview. I hope you enjoy it. Hi, and welcome to the True You Summit presented by the Modern Mom Society. I'm Carrie Rubin, your summit host and Chief Mom Officer at the Modern Mom Society. I'm excited to bring you the summit to get you the tools you need to live an authentic and joyful mom life that is aligned to what your body, soul, and mind desires. Today's expert is Sarah Talbert. Sarah is a coach who helps women discover and use their gifts to build a business that brings them joy and profit. We talk about how to find your purpose and why it's so important to pursue it. This topic I knew for sure I wanted to cover because following our passions is so important to being our true selves. Since I have had quite a twisting, turning journey to finding my purpose, as did Sarah, I know there are likely quite a few out there who are in the same boat. Sarah has such a calm, deliberate presence about herself, and she has such great wisdom to share. I know you're going to get a lot out of this interview. So without further ado, here it is. Welcome to the True You Summit, Sarah. I'm very excited to have you here.
I'm so excited too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really important topic because I think there are so many of us that struggle with what we want to be when we grow up and what's our purpose. Right. So I'm curious if you could just share a little bit about how you came to do coaching moms around growing their confidence and finding their purpose.
Yeah, so I kind of have we all tell kind of the same story and to kind of introduce ourselves. But my background, I have a degree in accounting and I hate numbers.
That's so funny. Why did you choose accounting?
I started college and then I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. Mm-hmm. And so then I had my son and I was like, I need to just finish my degree. What's the fastest route to get this done online? And so that's never the best choice, but that's what I did. And I've never touched accounting since. I did some work in banking, which had nothing to do with accounting, but that's the closest thing I could do. But I hated numbers, so I never used my degree. And then I started having kids, and it was like I needed to do something outside of apple juice and goldfish. It was like mind numbing. The days were long, but I was never using my brain, as exhausted as you are as a new mom. So I started like tinkering in things. What can I do? What can I like find to just put my brain to work? And my husband's always been an entrepreneur, and so he's always like, you should do something, like do your own business. I'll just help you do yours. So I've helped him start and run multiple businesses, but he always kind of encouraged me to do my own. So after accounting, I started my own little bakery outside of my home and started baking cookies. And like, I loved the creative aspect of that, like being able to create different things. And then I just found out that I loved like the marketing side of it. Like, how can I market my cookies more than how can I bake my cookies? But they were long days in the kitchen, and that was draining. So then my husband and I do a lot of like foreign mission work. We go overseas and do some work. And so in that process, I started falling in love with helping women overseas use their own gifts to become more profitable so they can be like self-sustaining instead of having to rely on all these things. And there's so many gifted women all over the world. So it's like, this is easy. Like, let's like, what are you good at? What do you love? All of these things. And so through that process, it was like, I can do this here in the States. Like, I love doing that over there. So how can I do that here? And then I kind of got scared here in the States, and I started travel blogging. And so I like jumped ship, and through all that, I learned like blogging and SEO and building website. Like, I learned all of that side of things. It was good too. But I still felt drained. And so I was like, I got to get back into making this impact with women one-on-one, like helping them navigate the journey that I just went through, like all of this stuff, that how all the pieces fit together. So
that is so interesting. My story is kind of similar. I've always had this call to do something a little bit more purposeful and following my passions. And I first started out doing professional organizing, and then I got married and I did all the graphic design stuff for my wedding, and I really loved that. So then I made a business out of doing the graphic design for weddings. And then I had some health challenges, and I was really interested in learning about health and wellness. So I went and got a health coach certificate, and then I tried out health coaching. And then to grow my business, the coach that I had at the time was like, here's some things you could do to build your audience. You could do a summit. I'm like, yes, I'm going to do a summit. So I did a summit, and I loved that. And then I did the podcast, and now, it's just one thing after another, and it's never really been, I think I'm still fine tuning like what this is going to land and turn into, but it's been a fun process trying different things. Like professional organizing, I felt I couldn't do that full time, and then I got burnt out on the graphic design, kind of like you got burnt out in the kitchen. And I think it's a little bit about just trying things that you're interested in, and seeing where it takes you. But could you talk a little bit more about things that we could do to figure out what our talents are? And things that we're passionate about?
Yeah. So I usually have three main questions, and we go a lot deeper than these three main questions, but a lot of them, it's a good jumping off point. So the first one is ask those closest to you. What are you good at, and what lights you up? My husband used to tell me all the time, you do so well in a small group setting. Like, you just, after it's over, like, you're just beaming and you won't stop talking. And before that, you're like just walking around and you're not excited. And I tell people too, like, now that I'm doing this business, my husband, we've been together since I was 12, and he's fallen in love with me all over again. Just like, cause you're so excited and you're so lit up about what you're doing that, so the excuse of not doing something because I'm married or I have kids or all of these things, it's not valid to me. And I don't let my clients hold on to that, because you need to, it benefits those around you. So ask those around you because they know what excites you. And then the second question is, look at accomplishments in the past that you've done that you really loved. So sometimes people say, I did that, but I did it. I checked it off the list. It wasn't exciting. But what things have you done in your past that really lit you up, got you excited, and that maybe as a mom, it kind of feels like you're not really accomplishing a whole lot other than just being a mom, which is still amazing and a huge accomplishment. But again, it's using that mind side of things. So what accomplishments? And then lastly, what legacy do you want to leave to your kids and to your family? I tell the story too a lot of my grandmother. She went back to school to be a nurse at 65. And
that's so cool.
Graduated top of her class, worked in hospice for years, won awards for her nursing. And so I have no room left for excuses of not chasing my purpose and what I'm excited about. Because if you can start at 65, that's an amazing legacy. So what are those things you want to pass down to your kids? What things do you want to pass down to your friends and to your neighbors? And so what legacy do you really want to leave? And that kind of helps you push past just being in the day-to-day.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I feel like there are those little hints that we have, but why do you think it is that we're so unclear about what we should be doing when we grow up, and why is it so hard for us to figure that out?
Yeah. I think we are, from my perspective, from what my past was, I wanted to make everyone else happy, and in that no one else was happy. I was trying to make my kids happy and my husband happy and my parents happy and everyone else. And I'm all for being a servant and serving those around you. But if you don't know what you're really good at, then you're trying to do all of it and you're not really good at any of it because you're too many places. So when you get really clear about who you are and your gifts and your talents and your abilities, then you can really serve better those who need your services, whether it be in business or family or whatever that is.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think too, there's a little bit of societal expectations on what acceptable careers are, or what, having a certain status or a certain title, or making a certain amount of money, when at the end of the day, as long as you're enjoying what you do with your day-to-day, I personally think that's worth more than having a ton of money in the bank. But having a ton of money in the bank doesn't hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think we do, because there's this stigma sometimes around working mother's better, or a stay-at-home mom's better, or a mom running ragged is so much better, all things. But I ask my clients, what's success to you? What does that actually look like? Now we need money to pay our bills, but what does these success factors look like? And a lot of times that comes down to your core values. And so any client that comes on board, we always do core value training, and we narrow it down to 3 values that we find super important to you. And the acronym I came up with for CORE is, to help really clarify it, CORE is, C stands for your character. What are your character traits that you really want others to see in you? And that's kind of that legacy thing too. O stands for your order, so your decision-making process. What things are you going to allow to guide your decisions? Is authenticity super important? Is your family super important? All of these things are values that you're allowing. If your family's first, are you putting things in front of your family? If your authenticity is first, are you cheapening what you're doing just to make it look like somebody else? Or do you really need to come back to your core value of, I'm authentic? And then R stands for your relationships. So allowing these core values to guide our business relationships, our family relationships. And then last is E, what excites you, what really lights you up, what gets you super passionate, and kind of that same back to asking people around you, what excites me? I don't even remember what I'm good at anymore. So all of those things kind of combined to be your core values to help lay a foundation of finding who you are and making decisions around that.
Have you found any clients struggle with figuring out what lights them up or what excites them or what they enjoy doing? I think we get into that place as moms a lot because we're just so busy doing the mom thing that a lot of that stuff falls to the side. So what do you do with those people?
Yeah, so I had a client, I had a call with her, and I went through all the basic questions, like the first free call to go over, like, let's just find something. And at the end of it, I thought, I don't know that I've ever had anyone not have some kind of revelation at the end of it, at the end of the call. And I felt super defeated. And she ended up signing on to be a client with me. She's like, this is, because I felt like I hadn't done my work. She felt like it's more desperate than I thought it was. So let's get to work. But it's really been through trial and error. I know that's not always the answer people want. They want, like, all right, here's my purpose, and I'm going to shift from this purpose. That's kind of why I started my story from the accounting and going all the way through.
Yeah.
It's trial and error. Like, try this. Like, let's try you doing a coaching program. Let's try doing this and this. And if you hate it, then don't do it again.
It's a good data point, right? It gets you on a better path.
Yeah. And so she started, like, she said, I'm never going to be on Instagram. I hate Instagram. And now she's like, I'm like, okay, well, let's just try it. And so she got on there, and she was, every day she's on there now, like, doing these things and growing her Instagram following and, like, all this stuff. And she's like, I never thought that I would love it. And I'm like, well, sometimes you got to try it. A lot of times trial and error just really, like, I don't think I would have ever tried a coaching business if I hadn't gone overseas and saw the impact that I was able to make with those women. And it was enough confidence to push me to try this in the States, you know, just enough confidence. I went back to travel blogging and then came back. But
right, yeah, trying it on a smaller scale, in a safe place, or even just doing it scared. Like, I remember that first interview I had for this first summit I did. I was, like, terrified going into it, or even sending the email to invite somebody to do it. I was like, oh my God, you know. But it ended up working out all right. And that's a little bit of, my own personal work is just getting over the fear and, like, the perfectionism and trying not to let that stop me from doing things that might turn out really awesome.
Absolutely. And they say, new levels and new devils, so, like, the more you move up, you're going to have the same fear, just different, so we're learning to use the fear to propel you. Is kind of part of the magic of it all, I guess. Yeah,
I like that. So let's say we had figured out things that we were excited about. We know what our core values are. Then what?
Yeah.
How do you turn that into your purpose, and how do you follow that?
Yeah, so a lot of times women come to me and we start working through all of these things, and they start doing things outside of motherhood, and just giving the space and permission that it's okay to not just be mom. All your fulfillment does not have to come from your children. And so most of the time it turns into a business, some form of business where they can start teaching people and helping people. And a lot of times people will say, I just want to make an impact. I'm like, yes, we are created to make an impact. And so, but in what space are we doing that? In what platform are we doing that? Do you just want to go across the street to your neighbor and, like, bake her cookies? Like, is that success to you? So a lot of times it turns into a business, but sometimes it just turns into, I'm living a more full life, a fuller life, everything I do has more intention behind it instead of simply I'm just a robot going through pouring that apple juice. And because now I feel like with me being a homeschool mom and running a business and helping my husband run his businesses, it's everything has to be intentional or we lose it all, you know? So when I shut off my laptop, my phone's put away, and then it's time with my kids. But then I enjoy my time with my kids more because I've spent time building something here, and now I get to spend time here with the kids. So it's all intentional. I'm not saying it's perfect. There are days where my phone is on and my kids are still in the room and I should put it away. But
of course.
Just having that in the back of my thoughts of I get to do this and I get to do this, and it's all, you get to choose. And I think that's a huge part of it, that you get to choose the legacy you want to leave. You get to choose the business you build. You get to choose the life that you're living. You don't have to do the things that are draining. Sometimes there's that series and period of time where there are, you know, maybe you have younger kids and they're sick or whatever, that you put things aside. But overall, how long do you wait before you start, you know?
Right.
So
why put your life and your happiness on hold? You know, I feel like there's just so much expectation and stigma in society around moms doing things for themselves. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm a better mom because I have things that I pursue outside of the house. And I feel like my kids aren't, you know, they don't lose out anything by me doing that. In fact, I'm, you know, just better for it.
Yes. Yeah. So my son, he's 12 now. And I guess about a year ago, he sat down beside me and he was like, "You're really happy." You know, so just this, like, they see it, you know, they see that time spent away from them is productive, and it's not like taking away from playing with them or it's helping them. So that one little moment that we had, it was like, okay, this is it. This is what I want all the women in the world to be able to do, you know?
Right, because we want our kids to be happy.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, if we're not showing them, modeling how to be a happy person, where are they going to learn that from? Yes. You know, and I don't think it's giving in to whatever they want is going to make them happy in the long run. So be a good model.
Yeah, so I tell them all the time, I'm like, you want your clients, you want your kids to chase their dreams. Like, you're telling them all the time, you can be anything you want to be within reason. And within your own skill set, within your own talents and gifts.
Right.
Like, I'm never going to be a professional hockey player. I don't know. Just that's not in my skill set. But but we're telling them that they can chase their dreams and they can do all of these things. But if we're not doing it, like, it just doesn't make sense.
I totally agree. So I'm curious, do you think we're all meant to build our own business? Because you alluded to the fact that most of your clients end up creating a business.
They do. I don't think so. I come from, my mom's side was very entrepreneurial. Everyone in her family was entrepreneurial except for her. And then my husband is, I call him a serial entrepreneur, where he has just, if he's not starting a business, he's bored. And so that's kind of my background to think in that direction. But I don't think so. But I do, if I continually hear people talk about, like, I just have this need to build something. I just need to build something outside of, I need to, like, it seems that phrasing comes up a lot. So if you feel like you just need to build something, but I don't think everyone's meant to build a business. Some people are, like, it goes back to what's success to you. Does it feel like building a business would really feel good to you and excite you? And if it was around all the right factors that would be exciting, then yeah, let's do it. But not always. No.
Yeah. And I suppose you draw in the kind of people that are interested in that kind of thing. So that's probably why it plays out that way. But entrepreneurship is tough. You know, a lot of online entrepreneurs make it seem kind of easy. Like, oh, I just put this website up and then, wow, I'm making millions of dollars. I'm like, you know, now that I've been doing this for a little while, it's not quite that.
No, it doesn't happen. No overnight success was actually an overnight success, right?
Exactly. As much as they'd like to sell you on that idea, I don't think that's the case. We covered a lot of ground. Do you have any other final tips to share that we haven't covered?
I don't think so. I feel like it's been a good conversation.
Yeah.
But, I mean, overall, just like, what's success to you and what legacy do you really want to leave to your kids, I think would probably sum up like where my heart is. So
I love that. One final question I have for you is, how do you connect to your true you?
My true me.
What does your practice look like? Or life things that you do that are connecting to your true you?
Yeah. So I guess routinely I get up before my kids so that I can have some space. I'm an introvert and not a morning person, and if I don't have that
buffer,
yes, a buffer is a good way to phrase that. I'm a better mom for it. So space before my kids wake up to read my Bible and write and journal. I think probably some really key factors that help me just ground me and help me stay sane in the day-to-day.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, Sarah. I
Thanks
really
for having
enjoyed the
me.
conversation.
It's been fun. Yeah.